Hey, what's up? We are back. Let's see if I can get the webcam. Here we go. What's up? See, I need to alert the Discord as well. Why does Disney Plus come pre-installed with Windows Microsoft Store right now? It's just so... I feel like I'm running an ad OS. Did anyone get anything nice for Christmas? If anybody's here. I just got one thing, and that was some sweet peas, some relaxing, sleeping, eating, you know. Did absolutely nothing. I was definitely on the computer. I did play a lot of games during Christmas, but I didn't touch anything InfoSec related. You got that sweet coffee mug. That is true. Okay, so this is pretty funny. So my in-laws got me this coffee mug as sort of a joke. Apparently I talk too much about my work, so they copyright strike the TrustedSec logo, and then added colleagues that I have been talking about for the last year. So that's that's Oddvar, that's Logan. Apparently I have a mug with myself on it, and that's Dave. So that's kind of awkward and also kind of funny. So that's the thing. So yeah, I think I should get a point now. I talk too much about work. When the in-laws start buying and producing work swag for you, then you know we talk too much about work. So I also got something very also that was pretty funny. So I wouldn't say I work in like a shed. Hey, hey dude. So I wouldn't say I work in a shed, but before I worked at TrustedSec, or before I started working at TrustedSec, I like renovated this old small shed slash mini garage into an actual office, which is where I am now. So I constantly go back and forth like 10 meters outside the house to the office, which is my shed. And I always had shoes, so I had like fucking like tennis shoes or whatever. I don't know what it's called, like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what it's called, but they bought me a pair of shoes that I could use to walk in and out of the shed. And my father-in-law works in like an oil rig, so he has access. He's really bored when he's out there, and he has access to some machines. So he seriously engraved the freaking TrustedSec logo on the shoes that I got from him for Christmas. So you can't see that. Oh, there we go. You can see. Almost can't see it on the camera, but there's a TrustedSec logo there. So I'm basically just like a walking advertisement man right now. That's what I do. I'm just like a walking ad board, shoes and everything. Hey Trunsky, glad to see you guys could join it. Been gone for a while. I guess I gotta apologize, but I really just felt the fucking burnout coming, so I just had to take a break. I didn't wanna, you know, let it affect my what should I say, work ethic when I was actually at work. So, hey, Trantorex, welcome, dude. Boys are back in town. Love it, love it. So today's stream is going to be a nice one. We're going to do some catch up on all the stuff that happened during Christmas. So I guess you have to start with log4j, right? Okay, wait. Oh, it's sad to hear you're still going through a burnout, dude. Yeah, no, take the time. I just felt it coming, so I instead of actually hitting it, I just stopped everything I was doing that wasn't necessary. I obviously have to keep working, but and the Christmas was great. I just didn't touch anything. I just relaxed. Fun employed. That sucks though. That sucks, man. Better times will come for sure. But you'll get through the burnout. It's just normal. Thanks, Yakanto. Hey, thanks for joining in. Glad to see people joining back in. No, but the burnout thing is just completely natural. I think the most important part is just realizing when it's coming and making changes if you can. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you joining in. Yeah, I gotta hit that Sunday stream now. Gotta get back on the horse. This stream is going to be really easy though, because the last month has just been producing content for me. I'm not gonna showcase anything I made the last month. I mean, there's been so much stuff we gotta go through. So I'll just get started. Let's see if my VMs still work. Yeah, looks good. Switching between them, looks good. Looks good. Whatever. Hey, Rastamouse in the chat. He probably just finished microwaving his tea, so his tea is probably nice and hot. You have been making some killer work on Sharpsheet too recently, Rasta. I've been genuinely impressed. Like the amount of open source work you're putting out for that now. The throughput is fucking insane. Especially when I saw the hooked functions enumeration in memory. That's pretty sweet. From like a high level like an operator perspective, that's so nice. You generally can't show yourself in chat without people asking for RTO3. And as soon as RTO3 comes out, it's gonna be like RTO4. No. Oh, we got we got something going on here. Vaded v Rastamouse, round 1, fight. Well, it sounds like that C2 dev course must have been great then. You must have learned so much that you got tired. Couldn't resist. Oh, I don't wanna update right now. I'm trying to showcase something. Okay. I guess we can start off talking log4j. I'm not going to demo any scanners, anything like that, because I don't have any vulnerable application up and running, even though I probably have. I'm just not aware of it right now. But I've seen 2 major sort of log4j scanners that I've used recently on engagements. So you can Google as much as log4j scanner GitHub, and it's not this one. This one, I think this CISA released. It seems to be based on this one. Yeah, so this is the one that you can use for public endpoints. So this has built-in support for the 2 DNS callback providers. By default, they support, or out of the box, they support dnslog.cn and interact.sh. I would definitely, if you're doing an external engagement and you're checking for log4j, I would, it can be hard to detect in terms of that, you don't know if there's a custom application on the back end, what part of the HTTP message is actually logged. Sometimes there's a weird header value, sometimes there's normal header value, sometimes you can get away with putting in some putting in some data in the actual URI that gets logged. So it's definitely a dialogue I would have with the client, and then I would also talk to them about any outbound restrictions network-wise. You won't be able to confirm that this application is vulnerable to log4j if the application cannot reach outbound through to either dnslog or interact.h if you use this tool. That's one of those things that you need to remember before you sort of fire and forget. Internally, there's another log4j scanner. Is it this one? Did Google actually release this? There's one that took SID ranges. SID ranges, or however you pronounce that. Let's see. See if we can find it. Is it this one? Yeah, so this one I think is designed for, this one is mainly designed for internal use. and it takes the ranges and it hosts the callback server directly on the machine itself. So I would use this for internal, and I would use the one from, God, I already lost it, didn't I? The one from Full Hunt for external when I'm looking for log4j. And finding log4j vulnerabilities, specifically within custom applications hosted by the client, is something that's going to be way easier if you have a good dialogue with them. Obviously, that can be hard with huge clients, you know, that they don't even know, you know, your point of contact for gigantic customers might not even know half of all the infrastructure they're running externally, depending on their maturity. So, but yeah, just keep it as a dialogue. Cool. I mean, major creds to all the people on call over the holidays and over the weekends. You know, fixing, detecting, and you know, responding. I guess mainly incident response in terms of log4j vulnerabilities. You guys are the true MVPs. I mean, imagine just being on call like that and just having to drop everything you got and just leave to save some company. So I mean, kudos to you guys. You got your work is extremely important. Out of curiosity, anybody in chat had any major incident response, worked in incident response, or blue team fun during the holidays? Or have you been just watching back and leaning back and just watching people burn? Watching the world burn. And also, Live Overflow made a brilliant video on log4j. He's like such a solid YouTuber. Live Overflow. You should totally check out his video. It's so detailed, and he always has sort of his he says that in the introduction to the videos as well, that he doesn't want to put out the video just to put out the video. He wants to approach this from some specific angle that hasn't been done before necessarily. So this video is just pure gold. It's a solid explanation of why it exists, what it's based off, you know, deep technical deep dive into how the vulnerability actually works. I watched certain Slack work channels go ablaze, but that's about it. Yeah, likewise, I haven't really, obviously I'm not on response, but I know, I'm assuming a lot of the great people at Binary Defense probably had a lot to do, like most other incident response teams during the early December days with Log4j. So that's Log4j. Personally, like, I'm not gonna say Log4j isn't exciting. It's obviously one of those vulnerabilities that we are going to find everywhere in like every Java-based application for the next X years. I know when this hit the Twitter, I saw people just pasting this, you know, the iconic URL with the DNS callback, LDAP callback to like tons of, you know, you're talking. I saw somebody change their iPhone name. I saw somebody change their Wi-Fi name. There's going to be if there's a bunch, any Java-based IoT devices, it's going to be heavily, it's going to have vulnerabilities found in the later days. So it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds, and it's definitely going to be something we're going to abuse internally. If you don't patch it, if you don't fix it, that is okay. And then there's another thing that I saw hit Twitter, and I've been waiting for this for so long. Like, me and Oddvar talked about this months back, and we seriously like considered deep diving into it to create it. But when we started to look at the data structure, it was just a fucking nightmare. And I'm of course talking about the ADExplorer snapshot to bloodhound data format converter that somebody released. Yeah, right. And it's just fucking amazing. Like, major kudos to the guys probably, or girls, or people I should say, to be 100% appropriate, who did that. Fucking solid work. Like, been waiting for this for so long. Yeah, and as I said, try to go to ADExplorer and capture a snapshot. Yeah, right, exactly the same. You should, everybody in the chat, go to ADExplorer, capture a snapshot, and try to take a look at the fucking data format. It's like looking at, like, it's less recognizable than looking at the PE header binary format. Like, it's just a fucking mess. There's no, you would think there's some XML in there or some JSON. No, not maybe JSON. That's just far fetched. But you would maybe think that there's some XML or some sort of data structure. No, like obviously there's some structure in there, but it's not recognizable by a text editor, and it's a fucking nightmare. I can only imagine. Like, yeah, as Rasta said, he looked at it ages ago and gave up after 30 seconds. So it's just so solid, solid work. That means you probably yeah. Let's take a look at that. I haven't tried it. I haven't touched it, so I'm gonna try to give it a go. Give it a go on Stream Marino. Just some solid work. And I just to fill in the blanks, if somebody sort of don't really see why this is so useful, depending on what sort of arguments you give the bloodhound, or the, I should say, sharphound, the ingester for the bloodhound data you give, it's noisy. Like, it's gonna, even if you give it DC only, it's going to pull a shit ton of LDAP queries, like at lightning speed, and any sort of, well, it's easily detectable, is what I'm trying to say. And something like ADExplorer is something that actually sysadmins use, and there's a much lower chance of that getting detected just taking a snapshot than running the sharphound ingester. So I see myself using this on every sort of red team engagement when I want to start looking into the querying some information from the Active Directory domain control systems. Definitely going to, you know, fire up a proxy, SOX proxy, and then connect with ADExplorer, do a snapshot, make it go a bit slow so you don't, if it's a huge network, you don't want to, you know, you want to try to slow it down is what I'm trying to say, just to be safe, and then, you know, pull it into Bloodhound and you get your magical graphical nodes laid out. It's amazing. So let's give it a go. I haven't tried it, I haven't touched it, so let's bring it up and let's, I guess, shout out to people who made this. So C3C, Cedric, and Olaf. Solid work. So I'm assuming it's a Python script. Setup instructions is as follows. Cool. Can you do that with the sharphound ingester, or is that something you're working on the side, Skelsec? What am I doing? I'm drunk. I haven't touched it in the computer in so long. This is a plain Kali installation, by the way, so I'm sorry. Specifically wants me to install as a user. Oh, I don't have pip3. Okay. Thanks for the suggestion for installing, I guess. That's true though. I think I'm not sure. So yeah. Oh my god, we're there already, aren't we? Ooh. Should I be really... I'm currently tied down with porting certified to Python. Cool. So I know that some of the... there's already like 2 Python projects that exist for playing around with ADSC certificates, right? But that's cool anyhow. I don't think there's like one that fills all the functionality yet. I think CertiPy is the one I've seen so far. Yeah, I'm gonna... Yep. Yeah, CertiPy is the... This is the fake one, right? Yeah, that's the bad one. I think it's this one. Nope. It's a lot of forks rolling around. Cool. That's some interesting input. Okay, so which Python do I have? So Python 3 is going to be Python 3, so I would like to upgrade that. I'm assuming there's some sort of Python 3 point something. Yeah, especially so we're already railing off her, but I think the main issue with the CertiPy one, so there's 2 ones. There's Certi and CertiPy. And I think at least Certi requires you to get the TGT and stuff yourself, which isn't a big deal, but for a lot of people, I would assume, or for some people, it's going to be a pain. No, that's CertiPy. Sorry, that's not Certi. CertiPy requires a TGT ticket to authenticate at all, since it uses Kerberos. It didn't care to implement that little in package script to fetch it. Ah. And I think that the certify, the like the dash vulnerable or whatever, this stuff, this isn't correct at all in the 31. Like it just lists a bunch of stuff that isn't. Yeah. I've had a lot of, yeah, and it also I had both certi and certify fail if there's like some sort of misconfiguration halfway through the like the certificate server. If it's in the records but it's down or something, it's gonna fail dramatically and won't allow me to see the templates from the other certificate servers. So there's definitely gaps. Yeah, so there's definitely gaps to be filled for sure. Looking forward to it. Cool. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about what Python version this needs. I'm just going to assume I can install Python 3.7. Okay, do I have to go for 9? Okay. Fuck that. It's obviously not going to work because I need the modules. That's fine. And then I'll probably need to install pip for 3.9 because there's no module called pip right now. Oh, there is? Cool. I'll take it. There we go. Dash H for help. Damn, I can't type. I lost my ability to type. So path to the snapshot.dat file and then the output to a folder where all the JSON files will be generated. So we first need to generate a snapshot. So let's move over to the lab machine here and let's get the ADExplorer downloaded. Oh, ADExplorer down. Why not 64? Why limit ourselves? The server is not operational. We're off to a good start here, people. This lab hasn't been running for a solid month. So I think we could do the IP instead. 192.168.5.8.1.1. There we go. Nice. KKK. So I haven't actually taken a snapshot before. Probably just right-click snapshot, right? Create snapshot. There we go. File. 100%. Spotify file path. Demo snapshot. Rotten maximum server utilization. We're gonna do 100 for this one, but that's okay. So I'm assuming this is the utilization on my machine. This can't be the. I'm assuming. Doesn't matter. No, it does not. I'm assuming. Okay, I just assume that it does not. No, it's a GUI only Windows application. It's a part of the sysinternals toolkit by Microsoft. Okay, so we have our snapshot. My little AD lab turned out to only be 3.4 megs. Okay, that's okay size, I guess. Actually, it's a bit big. I take that back. That's not particularly small. Oh, please tell me VM tools. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's bring this into here. Okay, so let's do it. We do the demo and then we do the output. And let's create just a folder. Make the demo out. Oh, these guys. Fucking amazing. Works. Cool. So now we should be able to smack this into Bloodhound. So for that we need to fire up log4j, which I don't think actually comes pre-installed with Kali, which is honestly a bit weird. Smash the domain with bad blood. I saw that. But I have no idea what bad blood is. I just saw somebody on Twitter post like a pretty decent ASCII art from the tool. It had like a lot of output. Is it something I should look into? Bad blood, GitHub. Bad blood. Oh, it's like a populator. Cool, 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 cool. I've used something similar. I've used like there's a bunch of. And not the Taylor Swift song. Cool. I've used something else. There's like a shit ton of like pre-populators for AD Labs. I think most of them are just in PowerShell, which is what this one is as well. Cool. I'll definitely use this for my lab when I need more objects. Thanks for the tip. Thanks for the follow, Ghosts. Okay, do we have Bloodhound though? Sure. Is that the Bloodhound I'm thinking about, or is it something else? We'll see. Yep, it's the Bloodhound I'm thinking about, and I was going to complain about the credentials. It's funny, I just changed the same password anyway. Well, I can't use it. Okay, I'm gonna change the music in a bit because this was a bit too hardcore. I'm not sure what I'm even listening to at this point. Sorry for that. Okay, imported nicely. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. Yeah, looks to be, I don't think I have any, obviously only that, main computers. Sure, imports, nice. Nice, 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 this is great stuff. I wonder how much of the, like, so I see users, groups, computers, and domains. So I'm guessing that is the only data being able to be extracted right now. GPOs and yeah, a lot of the other stuff is actually enumerated by touching hosts. Like both sessions, yeah, sessions at least. Both session and local admins are enumerated by touching the actual host. So you won't be able to get that from DC only or ADExplorer.py. Anyway, this is a great tool. Gonna make my life a lot easier. And I just look like, again, we could take a look at this data structure or whatever this is. Like, this is I get that a lot of files look like this, but like I'm trying to make a point. This is like a fucking nightmare to go through. So seriously, fucking good work, solid stuff, amazing. Yep, gonna make my life easier for sure. I think it's gonna make the life of a lot of people easier. Cool. Okay, and then the thing that happened around the time log4j came out was the stuff by, oh god, I have to find it now. I have to pronounce names now. I'm talking about SamTheAdmin and or vaccine, right? Let's see if I can find the main repo I was originally looking for here. It sort of went a bit under the radar because of log4j, but it's just so nice and it's a super easy domain prevesc. I'm gonna try to explain it. I'm gonna give it a try, but first I need to find the original post. Come on, there we go. Right, so it's related to, so there's a bunch of, so just reading his blog. So this is the original blog post. Let me bring that up. Oh, I have it here, god. Lol, it's this one. So he's basically reverse engineering some CVs that was patched in the November update 2021 for Windows, and it revolves around requesting a TGT lacking a pack, and then being able to request S for yourself a TGT from that, and then name confusion happens, and you get the wrong the key. The TG is signed by the wrong keys over, right? This blog just is a much better explanation than I can do right now, especially since I haven't streamed in fucking 2 months, so I can't speak. Apparently, I lost the ability to speak. But in short, what happens is that this exploit, or this chain of 2 exploits weaponized, allows you to, from a low privilege domain user in AD, you can create up to 10 computer accounts, as I think most people know by now. And we can abuse that by creating a computer account, removing the SPN set, and then renaming that computer account to a domain controller, but without the $sign at the end. And then we request a TGT from that computer account. That happens as normal. But what's cool is that when we delete that computer account or rename it, when we try to request a TGS, or say S for yourself based on that TGT, the domain controller is going to get confused, but because it can't find the original domain account or computer account, and it's going to, by some magic, just add the sign at the end, and then suddenly we get the S for yourself certificate, a ticket, sorry, for the domain controller we're targeting. So it's like type this, press enter, get admin exploit, and this is how you would use it using not power pick, goddamn. I can't remember. PowerShell, the infamous PowerShell scripts with Rubius. And then what happened after this blog post, that a bunch of people started making Python books for this. PowerView, thank you very much. So we have a few different ones. The one that the one that I think sounds the coolest is SamTheAdmin. I really like that name phrase, that name, and it's the same thing. You run it, you give it user credentials, it creates a computer account, and it does that whole thing, and you end up with the shell on the targeted domain controller. The one that seems a bit more worked through is the one called Paxine. I'm not pronouncing that right. 100% I'm not pronouncing that right, but I don't care at this point. So Paxine, this one right here. This one looks a bit more, what should I say, well built. This is the same stuff. This doesn't give you anything interactive, just leaves you with the ticket, and then you can use that ticket to authenticate using Kerberos to using whatever in packet tool you want to use. BMI, exec, Secret Stump, whatever. This has worked for me on the last 3 engagements because they haven't patched their domain controllers. So I want to give this a go in today's stream during my lab. But this is freaking cool. This is awesome. And sadly, it didn't get the attention initially that it should have gotten because of log4j. And then there's also Cube also, of course, made a great C# implementation that I want to try. That does the exact same thing, but from a pure Windows context. No in-packet tools on Python Linux needed. So I guess we'll try this one first. I need to add this to Sharp Collection, by the way. There's a bunch of stuff I need to add to Sharp Collection, but this is definitely one of those things I need to add to Sharp Collection. Cool. Cool. Let me just download this and compile it and give it a go in my lab. I don't think I have Visual Studio installed in this lab. No, I have it on my stream machine, but I don't know what I used my stream machine last to, so let me just download and compile this. Okay. I think on the last like 6 engagements I were on, I managed to get domain admin using ESC1. So the certificate stuff, as predicted, is going to be here forever. And based on the client feedback, it doesn't seem that it's being highlighted enough anywhere, like the certificate stuff. I'm guessing because it's like the I don't know how to say this, but I'm guessing it isn't that broadly looked at yet because it's rather complicated. So Yeah. Yeah. But it's really cool though. It works sweet. It's pretty cool when you're able to tell the client that that low privilege domain user could create a computer account, and then that computer account could request a certificate based on a template that allowed you to impersonate any user in the domain, effectively making all computer accounts in the domain a domain admin or whatever. I mean, yeah, been some pretty hard report readouts with that, you know. Definitely has an impact for sure. Let's try no pack. So I think Defender is on this machine. I actually don't even know if my domain controller in the lab is no, it's not. I need to turn it off. I don't even know if that domain controller is vulnerable. I don't know the last time I patched it. I'm like a terrible sysadmin, so I guess we'll see. And that, and then no pack, and then it seems like I need to give it a domain and username and password. So domain, so scan dash domain, legit corp, net, and then dash user, that's just use Bruce Wayne, and dash pass is Batman. Wasn't that literally just what I did? Oh, he wants a domain. I can't type. There we go. The server is not operational. That's a DNS issue. I don't know why I'm getting not operational. I just love it when my lab works. It's always DNS, true. I was waiting for it. Yeah, it's DNS. If you want to be a part of the domain, you kind of sort of have to have your DNS server set correctly. Am I listening to birds? What is up in my playlist? I thought I had a good playlist going for the stream. What is going on here? Like, the server is not operational. Okay. Well, that's not exactly what I was looking for. There we go. My library. That's yeah. Oh, dude, so I had that exact same sort of issue that I really wanted the latest and greatest when I joined TS, so I got the first like the first generation M1 MacBook Pros, the 13-inch one, and well, I can virtualize now, you know, Windows 11 on ARM, but trying to use emulated Visual Studio 64-bit on the virtualized Windows 11 ARM on an M1 Mac. It's a fucking nightmare. It's like you literally can't even work with it. It's nonetheless compile. It's a nightmare to compile anything. So I also considered just turning this main workstation into an ESXi server, and then just VMing everything and using my basically using my M1 Mac as like an RDP machine. But turns out my brain and fingers cannot fucking handle the Mac keyboard layout. Like I cannot program on the Mac keyboard layout. If I were to switch, I would have to like relearn in like no, it's just so pain. So I tried it. I actually tried that for a solid week. Just RDPing into my Windows box from my Mac and just using my Mac with my setup with the dock and everything. And literally no, I just can't. I just cannot. But what is up? The server is running DNS, right? Like, I could probably restart the server, but I'm a bit afraid that it's going to update. Oh, I can't start the DNS server. What the fuck? The DNS, this is why Active Directory never works. The DNS server is waiting for Active Directory Domain Services, DS, to signal that the initial synchronization of the directory has been completed. Okay. Oh, this is gonna break so much. Snapshot 10. I think this was before the because I tried to set up ADFS. Fuck it. That's right. I can get on with the keyboard layout. Don't know why they don't offer a standard rigid layout for front. No, I agree. Like I tried to find on my Mac, I tried to go into the layout settings and try to find like Windows Norwegian, like, or Windows American keyboard layout. But it's like it's a nope. It's just, you won't do it. I even tried plugging in actual Windows layout keyboards like the one I have. Nope. Yeah, I'm assuming there's some third-party hack or software out there that's going to be able to do it for me. But do I like, yeah, Macs are cool and everything, but when I'm due for my computer refresh, I'm getting something else. Why not just add the server to host in Windows? That would also definitely solve the issue, just adding the domain record straight itself. It might have issues looking up other computers later on though. I don't have that many computers in the domain, so I could probably just add all of them in host. But that wouldn't fix the problem, would it? Let's see if it's up and running now. I'm happy with the leisure device. Fans haven't turned on ones, and the battery life is superb. Yeah, no, the Mac as a daily driver in terms of, I guess, not doing work, that wouldn't make it a daily driver, but like in terms of browsing and doing online stuff is fucking amazing. It is a very expensive machine to watch Twitch and YouTube on. I guess I didn't pay for it, but yeah, no, it's definitely a very expensive machine to watch YouTube and Twitch on. And the thing is that I honestly want to like it. That's true. I just want to see one worth every penny. Aww. So what is my path? So that's a good question. I was really lucky. I wanted to do cybersecurity ever since I got introduced to it when I was like 15, 16. But you know, especially in Norway, they're like a cybersecurity school in Norway. It's a thing now, but it wasn't then. And even if it was then, I don't think I would have attended it anyhow. But I wanted to pursue cybersecurity, but I wanted to do it in my own way. So I took computer engineering instead. I did 3 years bachelor's degree in computer engineering. I taught myself how to develop and program before that and during that, and then I got lucky and got a job as a developer for a couple of years. And really, actually, the answer, like the straight up answer to your question, is just hack the box. When I was working as a developer, I wanted to transition into doing cybersecurity, and the only real way I could do it was to prove myself as a hacker. So I lived on hack the box for maybe 3 months, 4 months. That's the only thing I did every day. After work, before work, whatever, lunch, I did hack the box, and I became like I was pretty decent at hack the box at some point. I think I was top 100 in the world at some point in hack the box. Keep in mind that hack the box was a lot smaller back then, 4 years ago. And then I was really lucky and found a company in Norway that would hire me just based on hack the box. Yeah, I didn't have any certificates, anything like that. I was just hired based on my rank on Hack the Box and what I could show them during the interview. Can we say Hack the Box most important? Sure. If the company is flexible, they just want to see that you know what you're doing and that you're usable in terms of like, no company is going to expect you to know everything. You just have to show them that you can gain information at a decent speed, that you have understanding of like at least some like basic knowledge of the subject, and that you're somebody they can work with. Like, no company out there is going to try to hire somebody that knows everything. Nobody knows everything, right? So if they're a proper company, that is. But personally, I fucking hate the whole. Yeah, there were some questions about that, sure. For sure, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna work as a pen tester, you have to be able to write the report. That's, in the end, that's how they make money. They don't make money by you fucking around on client's network. They make money by the client receiving some pieces of paper telling them what to fix. That's how they make money, right? Oh, what happened? I haven't followed the Hack the Box scene in a while. Did somebody like leak all the boxes or whatever? Selling accounts. A lot of way to break Hack the Box for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna do the hacky way now and just do hosts. If I didn't already break it. It's in drivers, right? And then it's probably in a hidden folder, so I probably need to like enable. Where's that? What the fuck? Have I don't know how to do anything anymore. I'm useless. Oh, that sucks. If they broke it, there's always going to be, and there's always going to be some people wanting to sort of just jump the easy way. But like a good interview process is going to be able to tell the difference between people when it comes to that. I can do like this as well, right? How is the work situation in cybersecurity in Norway? I'm an Italian offensive security engineer and I was thinking of moving to Norway. If I were to move anywhere to work in cybersecurity, I would move to the US. Straight up. If that's possible for you, of course. The market in terms of skill, pay, pretty much anything is going to be revolved around the US. Sad, or I wouldn't say sadly, but that's just how it is right now. So if I would go something to kick off, yeah, I think maybe the language barrier is the biggest thing with something like Asian countries. So I just added to the host file because I didn't want to fight the DNS server on the domain controller. That took time. So that, I'm not sure if that pack looks. Yeah, no, that's a small pack for sure. It's supposed to be over 1,000. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can get this exploit going. So I'm supposed to give it like a new account to create. So M account would be. Oops, typing is hard. Let's just do demo. M password. Password 1, 2, 3. Service. Thank you so much for the follow, TechSpence. Service. So what service you want to target? Hosts or CIFs should be fine. CIFs, I guess. Pass the hash. See what happens. Ooh, go get some food, Rasta. Thanks for being here. But no, probably US. If I were to move anywhere like permanently to pursue cybersecurity like hardcore, probably the US. Yeah, I need to remove the scan, of course. I don't want to scan. I want to exploit. In case I'm missing DC. Yeah, of course, you need a target domain controller. Stupid. DC01 not legit corp.net. The situation with cybersecurity in Norway right now, hey, it worked. So the situation with cybersecurity in Norway right now is that it's definitely like there's definitely a demand in terms of companies wanting to hire you, but there's still a lot of, in my humble opinion, there's still a lot of immaturity but between companies and consultant companies in Norway offering their services. Like if I were to go to one company and ask for an internal penetration test, I might just get offered like an automated vulnerability scan for $1,000, a couple of $1,000. But if you go to another one, you might get actually a proper internal penetration test, and that makes it hard for clients to navigate the market and understand, to get help understanding what their needs are and what they're supposed to be paying for it, what's a fair price for something, and what they're getting, and that sort of fucks up the market a little bit, to be honest. If sort of the companies offering these services would be more standardized and sort of have a more mature understanding of what they're offering and have realistic prices for that, it would be more of a win-win for everybody. Yeah. The company in Norway, like, I'm not going to put all the companies in Norway under the bus and say that they all don't know what they're talking about or anything like that. It's just that a lot of consultant companies or security companies in Norway, they fuck themselves and they fuck their competition by just reducing the prices because they don't know what it's supposed to be worth, and they can't guide the client into understanding what it's supposed to be worth and what's the value of it is. And that sort of fucks up the prime. Hey, hello Decoder, welcome to my stream. Okay, so the NOPAC C# proof of concept worked. We got a TGS for the CIFS service on the domain controller. So we should now be able to list out the C directory on the domain controller, which we would not be able to do without domain admin rights. There we go. It's same in Iran. Okay, I actually thought Iran had a. So no, this isn't attached, but I have an AAD tenant for legitcop.net that I used a while back for testing some accounts. But none of these accounts should be accessible through that. Yeah, I think US definitely has the most mature market right now, and I'm guessing it's just simply because they have the highest. I'm assuming they have the highest sort of threat level. You know what I mean? I'm guessing the US is by far the most targeted country. If I mean, I might not have anything to do with it. I'm just thinking that if they're continually targeted, then they have to invest in it to stay protected, because they actually understand and see what's going to happen if you don't invest in it. But no, it's like a fucking geopolitics. It's not something I could solve, but. So, no, I don't have anything in AAD to share, really. Honestly. I'm just giving them my money. So cool. So, the only thing would be like a NOPAC Cobalt Strike Bath. That would be pretty dope. So we wouldn't have to invoke C#. That'd be dope. Yeah, that's true though. Iran is a target everywhere, probably. Okay, so is there anything? There's one more thing I think there's this one thing that got released a couple of days ago. So anybody remember Dark Comet? Anybody? Anybody? The rat, correct. So Dark Comet is the old school rat, correct. So I think I never recall wasn't it coded in, I want to say Ruby, but it's wrong. It wasn't Ruby. What was it coded in again? Fuck. Delphi. It was coded in Delphi. So Dark Comet. The guy who made Dark Comet, Dark Coder, I recall him taking down the project because I ran or whatever. But he's like out and everything. So he's back at it on GitHub, and he's releasing some open source projects. And he recently released this Power Remote Desktop, which seems to be like a pure PowerShell implementation of remote desktop from both client and server, which is really neat. I'm gonna check that out. Gonna give that a go. See if I can get that code down here. So there's a viewer and a server, simple PowerShell scripts. So let's try to. I guess this will be the viewer. So we'd have to import the module first. PowerShell remote desktop viewer. Oh, I hate this. Isn't it dash or is it just bypass? Oh, dude, have I forgotten how to do this? Goddamn. I've taken a pretty long break, okay? I blame it on that. 100% I blame it on that. Anybody want to correct me? Thank you so much for tuning in, mate. I really appreciate that. Oh, it's the other way around. So it's PowerShell and then exec and then bypass. Lol. Sorry. So import module. Power viewer. Power viewer. There we go. And then you just invoke it and give it password and the IP and a port. That's cool. So we need to do the same. Let's connect to the domain controller as a server. Assuming this would have to be run in high privilege to get past the port restriction and firewall. What does it say? Just assuming, obviously, and everything is going to be high privilege on the domain controller, but import module. Later rated. Example bypass might as well work. Anything actually. So I think the trick is with PowerShell, anything starting with EX or EXE would do the trick. So exec is valid, EX is valid. I think even E is valid. So I copy this straight from the README. So I guess I could change up the password. Cool. Cool. Okay. So the IP of this machine is 111. So from the lab, I want to invoke remote desktop viewer, and the server address is going to be 192.168.158.58. I mean 111. Server port 2001, right? 2801, and then the password, which I just was password, right? Oh, this is cool. No need to enable RDP anymore, guys. What the fuck? Nice. I definitely see this being useful. Have you tried Aardwolf RDP client before? No, I have not. Your question makes me Google it though. So if it's like a social engineering attempt, it's a good one. A few words about RDP client. Oh yeah, no, of course I've heard about it, dude. Of course I've heard about it. It's on the Pochetta, you know, it's your stuff. I think I retweeted that. So it's allowing for scripting of RDP commands. So I'm just waiting for somebody to release like a massive lateral movement tool for that, Python-based tool for that. I recall this. It's on the Pochetta Industries repo, right? Right. Is it Pochetta only? Or is it Pochetta and you have to invite them as well only? Cool. Public soon. Cool. Can't wait to see some cool examples of usage with that. I mean, yeah, that's cool. Proper scripting handler for RDP. Yeah, this is cool as well. Like in pure PowerShell. I mean, I don't want to say that PowerShell is dead, but PowerShell is kind of dead. But still, I mean, somebody could port this. Cool. I already have like a million questions on how you navigate like an RDP screen using code though. Are we talking XYZ mappings, or do you have like specific wrappers for parts of a Windows screen that you can recognize? Or I have so many questions. That's cool though. It's gonna allow you to automate a lot of stuff really quickly. There were something similar, so we have something called Sharp RDP, which is again the same, the headless RDP stuff. Yeah, this stuff right here is I'm guessing somewhat similar. So what else happened? I think there's some more stuff that happened while I was gone. Let's see. AVG is now also including their the AV dump utility. That's funny. Gold bins, man. Ah, cool. And another Q spots out the graphics as PNG. Cool. Anybody have anything they wanna like I guess showcase? Anything cool happened? Thank you so much for the follow, soundboard. I see what you did there. That's a nice one, soundboarded. I know that Cube is also working on some killer Kerberos relaying stuff. Triggering a local authentication from system and then relaying it outbound. So many unanswered questions regarding that yet though, so I'm curious if he's ever going to release it or if it's saving it for someone to talk or something. But it's this right here. Let me bring it up on. I don't know why I'm posting links there. I should just bring it up on stream. Jesus, I'm a streamer. God damn it. Oh, I don't have internet on this lab apparently. Won't be like this. This right here, super excited for this. So remember, I was discussing this with Chester. Cyberllama, could you send that link on the Discord, because the links get blocked on the chat. So if you could send it on Discord, that would be great. I think you're on the Discord, right? So let me. Yeah. Okay, can AMSI be bypassed on another AV product? So yeah, it can. So the only difference is that other antivirus products will have their own implementation of the AMSI DLL or some sort of wrapper for it. So I recall, for instance, Carbon Black have their own like CB AMSI DLL, if I recall correctly. So you would just have to you would have to recreate the steps that Adam Chester and Rustamouse initially did when they found the correct functions to patch out in AMSI-DLL, and you would have to apply somewhat the same technique to Carbon Black's AMSI-DLL. But I think if I recall correctly, at least in the instance of Carbon Black, it's still a DLL running in the context of a process that you have access to. That you can modify the memory space of, so you could just patch out and do whatever the frick you want with that, any function in that DLL. So, but it would have to be specific. Like you wouldn't be able to create one AMSI bypass, or you wouldn't be able to create like one universal generic one-line AMSI bypass that would work on every product. You'd have to specify it for each every product. All the AMSI bypasses that you see out there and that you can get on AMSI fail and all that stuff are just for Defender specifically. Okay, let's check the link. So, you wanted my thoughts on a tool called LDAP Monitor, which I'm guessing is initially a blue team tool. Let me see if I can link. I can send links apparently. I'm privileged, so let's check that out. I'm proud to present LDAP Monitor version 1.3. With this tool, you can monitor creation, deletion, and change the objectives live during your Active Directory pentest or system administration. That's cool. Oh my god, that's cool. This is very useful. Like, as a sysadmin running this. Oh, they have Windows versions directly as well. This is nice. Like, I'm not sure if I would... So, there's probably other ways to implement, like, detections. Like, so there's probably other and better ways to implement LDAP detection, like query detection, but this is a great way to develop those detections. You know, this is Purple Team Golden. Hey, made it. It's yours. So glad you can make it, Nightwolf. You didn't have to catch a recording. I can send my Discord, sure. If you send any malicious stuff, it's you're getting cocked the hell out of there. But here's the Discord link. Feel free to join it. It's full disclosure, not that active on there. I have some plans for it in the future, but right now it's not like a super active Discord. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna undersell it. Feel free to, man. No, this is great. Like in a Purple Team exercise, fucking gold. From a defensive perspective, this would be great when developing. You know, whatever queries, making sure it matches up, having all the information available for detections. Not sure how I would, or if I would implement this directly as like a detection. Like using this to gather logs, but like this is really cool. This is super handy. I'm not sure if I would use it though. Like, I could use this on a pen test after I've gained domain admin to sort of give the client examples and specific timestamps to changes I did in LDAP that caused whatever to happen. So I could see it aiding me in like the second, third, fifth path. But you're not going to start off the internal test with the domain admin unless it's a Purple Team, or not necessarily during a Purple Team engagement, but you're definitely not going to do it during a black box engagement either. So cool though. It's really neat. Live feed for all that. That's cool. It's going to aid a lot. Question: anybody knows that what can be done from an attacker standpoint with having access to Event 6 RPC endpoint? So I would have to like RPC and their Event 6. What is that? Well, that's something else. RPC endpoint manager. So I guess there's two answers to that question. So okay, so it's an RP, so it's event 6 is an RPC endpoint which doesn't require signing. Program leader, that's Swedish, right? Programledaren, yeah. So would you say it's hard to bypass antivirus solutions and EDR solutions when in the case of Sharphound? I feel like everybody's scared of using it and avoid bloodhound because of it. So Sharphound itself, like, so there's two things to this. First, there's running Sharphound on an engagement on the machine and not being caught, like in terms of running it in memory on the machine by whatever solution is on the machine. And that could be highly tailored and highly specific to the EDR solution. If there's no EDR solution, say it's Windows Defender, I would just patch AMSI and run it. That wouldn't catch me. If there's third-party EDR AV solutions, I would probably have to recreate it in the lab and check it first. But most of the time, you can get away with just patching ETW and then blocking blocking DLLs not signed by Microsoft from being loaded into your process, and that's gonna basically neutralize any userland hooks in the process that you're spawning that you want to run Sharphound in. So that's one thing. One detection is running Sharphound on the machine, like the client machine. That might be detected. And then there's all the noise that Sharphound makes. So if you didn't know, Sharphound, if you run the default one, it's going to reach out to every single domain computer on the network. And it's going to try to enumerate all the sessions that's running on that. And it's going to enumerate every active user session on those machines, and it's going to try to determine if those users have local admin and all that stuff. So you're basically reaching out to every computer on the entire domain if you just run Sharphound by default, and that's why it's so noisy. That's the network noisy side of it. If you run Sharphound with just -DC only, it will only pull LDAP queries, or will only pull data using LDAP queries, which is a lot less noisy, but can still be detected. The queries itself can still be specifically detected. And there are some, like, there's a stealth parameter, there's some other parameters that you can play with to get around it, but it just have to be tailored. You have to know and test before you run it in the environment. But you know, if it's a pen test, your goal isn't to be quiet anyhow. Your goal is to gather all the data and find all the security holes. If it's a red team engagement, of course, it's totally different, and usually you wouldn't do Sharphound. Okay, ETW. So that's event viewer. Oh my god, I can't even recall what this stands for anymore. Patch. So it's ETW is event tracing for Windows. It's just another basically telemetry and logging capability that Windows has, and you can patch it out pretty easily from userland. So might help to get around some detections. Also, hey. So somebody wanted me to check out Power Chunker, which seems to be like a specific AMSI obfuscator. PowerShell is a tool designed to bypass AMSI via PowerShell by splitting a file into multiple chunks. In the post by blog, I discuss how malicious PowerShell can evade decision policy if they're run line by line or in chunks. Yeah, I've included. That is true. So this is cool. So this is I mean, this isn't. Okay, cool. I mean, so like there isn't an issue with this. This is pretty decent, like in terms of that's a way to get around AMSI as well, but the most easiest way would just be that the first chunk in this case would be the AMSI bypass, and then as long as you run whatever PowerShell command in that same session, you don't spawn a new process, AMSI is dead anyhow, so it doesn't matter. But if you want to avoid patching AMSI and just bypass it, this is another way to break signature detections, basically, by just chunking them into multiple different scripts. So, I mean, hey, it works. Pretty cool. Yeah, Rastaman sees his name, so he's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's great. 10 out of 10 repo, right? Saw my name. So red team infrastructure. There's a lot of best practices around red team infrastructure. I think I sort of kind of need to avoid discussing too much about that because a lot of the stuff I do now is TS methodology, and I don't want to like spoil that on Twitch. But in a sense, you want to try to split it up as much as possible, and you want to practice operational security at the highest level. You don't want to say Cobalt Strike shouldn't have staging enabled. The Cobalt Strike servers itself shouldn't be reachable by anything else than your proxy servers. Stuff like that. That's all you need. I see my name on the repo. That's all you need. Yeah. No, I get what it is, the coder. Yeah, you can sure use this to wipe out something. It breaks signature detections. It goes to add Rasta's name to all my projects. 10 out of 10. Rasta will vouch you. Yeah. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I got a project for DEF CON 2022 that I'm hoping, you know, first of all, I have to get accepted to speak there. And then I have to be able to travel there because of fucking COVID. And then my project still has to be relevant when it releases. But I have a project. It's pretty cool. So the first recon you do when you land on the machine in terms of domain. So nothing. When I land on the machine, I the first thing I think about is persistency. Where am I? What machine am I on? Is this a laptop? Is this a workstation? Is this machine going to be turned off in 2 hours, or are they just going to lock the screen? So that's the first thing I'm going to think about, persistency. And then, I mean, at least from a red team engagement, I'm going to come there for my rent. Cool. Oh, great. Sounds awesome. Looking forward to meeting you. So the first thing I would do is just being sure I can be able to stay on the box, and then you can start looking. I would start looking at the box long before I would start poking at the main stuff. A lot of the approaches, at least I have in terms of red team engagement, is just working off at what you got on the machine. Okay, the user is obviously going to have access to some internal resources. I want to read all them wiki pages. I wouldn't be a fucking mastermind on all the Jira stuff you have. I want to know where everything is before I start poking at the domain. And usually, if I even do that, so usually, you know, you can just learn everything about the internal domain, not necessarily everything, but like 80% of it, just by reading the wiki and Jira pages. If it's a decent cyber organization and they're well documented, I would just work from there. You know, not getting caught and staying low is sort of priority number one in the beginning. And then as time goes on, usually you get a feel of what you're up against and how much you can get away with, and then you can sort of start pushing the needle a bit. But yeah, just you know, just getting on the box and staying there is an achievement in itself. Buy yourself more time. Yeah, I'm looking. So yeah, I have a solid project for DEF CON 2022. Hopefully it's still valid by the time DEF CON 2022 hits. If it hits, if it's arranged, if I can go there, whatever. I'm really hyped about that. I'm also holding a talk in February for like a Norwegian conference, which I'm dropping like a proof of concept, which I guess I could leak a little bit. So it's a Cobalt Strike C2 traffic handler. So I think you looked into this, Rastamouse, not so long ago. It's called something specific. It's been on my like projects folder forever, so I don't even recall like what the thing is called. But like Cobalt Strike internal handler, is it that what it's called? Listeners. What the fuck is it called? You know what? You know the name, Rastamas. So it's like it's a custom listener. I don't remember what it's called. Custom listener. Yes, thank you. External C2. So it's you're correct. So it's a external C2 implementation using a very nice C2 channel. that I'm going to be releasing on that talk, and that's in February, so that's not too long ago. Heading out, we'll catch you later. Thanks for doing this. Yeah, thank you so much, Rizek, for joining in. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, dude. Program, wouldn't you rather persist on Linux than Windows? What scares me is if you plan to persist for a long time on Windows, it's just I'm scared that my methods will get heuristical detections in the future. I mean, would you rather persist on Linux than on Windows? I don't see myself. I have never encountered. Obviously, I don't have like years of experience. But in my little experience, I've never encountered gaining initial access on a Linux machine in terms of like social engineering. Usually, if you find some sort of vulnerable SQL endpoint or some other external vulnerability that allows you to gain initial foothold on Linux, staying there is usually a lot easier because there's usually not that much detection there. Okay, just for general persistency. I think I would rather persist on Windows. Windows is a client-based operating system, meaning that you have a lot more user interaction typically. Wow, that was so stupid. What did I just say? Windows is a client-based operating system? I'm fucking retarded. Scratch that. What I'm trying to say is that most people in a company setting, when you like, if your target company, most people are going to be using Windows as their daily driver, as their daily operating system, and it's a lot easier to persist in specific things on that machine. If the user has Slack, you can persist in Slack. If the user has some weird, shitty third-party product that they use every day, you can use that for persistence. It's much better to sort of try to customize your persistency technique based on the machine you land on, instead of going into it thinking that you're going to use this and that persistency technique. Sure, you want to have a backup, but if you tailor it to the machine you're landing on, it's much harder to detect over time. So, I would still say Windows, just because I would assume there's a high chance. I think I'm going to move towards the end here, guys. I'm really surprised so many people showed up for the first stream back. I was kind of suspecting a lower body count today, but really happy with that. I think I know who the corporate on that is, Rastamas. Is it true? Rastamas is to blame for all them viewers. Thank you so much for the shout out. I really appreciate it. Body count. Wow. Brutal. Emotional damage. AG, you use process hollowing, it becomes popular and then might get detected. You're thinking more general stuff. I mean, every sort of yeah. If you start looking into, like, if you open a process hacker and you start looking into all the actual legitimate applications on your machine that has read-write execute memory space, I mean, getting that sort of detection over time, I honestly wouldn't worry that much about it. As long as you don't upload your fucking sample to VirusTotal, as long as the sample that you got initial access with didn't undergo manual reversing and hard ass scrutiny, I wouldn't. It's sort of out of your grasp anyhow. You can't change your technique every other day because you're worried of like long run side effects of getting heuristical detections. I guess you can, but you wouldn't. But yeah. I think I'm going to have to end it here. I really appreciate everybody showing up. Obviously, I'm going to be back next Sunday. Feel free to join my Discord if you want to. I really appreciate any sort of suggestions of what you would like me to talk about. Tools, projects, whatever. Hit me up with it. I love this sort of back and forth discussion. I think it's super interesting, and I love to see get your opinion on stuff. And obviously, I'll try to give mine as best as possible. But yeah. Already looking forward to next Sunday. Really appreciate everybody joining in. Hope you have all had a great Christmas and New Year's. It's cool. Thank you so much, Nigel. Really appreciate it. Obviously, if you joined in late, this recording is also being streamed on YouTube, so you can see it all there. Cheers, guys. Really appreciate it. See you next week. Have a great week. It's Monday tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. First day of work. Let's go. First day in the week of work is what I'm trying to say. Enjoy it, guys. See you all next Sunday. Have a great one.